The first set of the second match of the day will be played on Akilon Wastes. Spawning in the bottom right-hand position as the red Protoss player from SK Telecom T1. His name is Best. And yeah, he has a second place win, or I guess second place score in one of the Star Leagues as well from Brood War.
His opponent does not have a second place finisher in Brood War, but doing, I have to say, decently well in Starcraft2 as a blue Protoss on the left top position of the map. His name is Flying.
Flying is, I feel, the poster boy when it comes to the players that can do good in individual leagues in StarCraft 2, but fumble a little bit when it comes to the team leagues.
I mean, yeah, remember, he did defeat Parting in round of 16 back in the teaming, not the teaming OSL, excuse me, at Auction All Kill OSL.
That's true, yeah. Another player that comes to mind is Hiva. Doesn't do necessarily amazing in the team leagues, but does good in individual leagues. And you know what's really weird? These players were both originally from Estro, which was a team that used to be owned by IEG, which is the company that employs us. So a little fun fact for you guys there, they're still in esports.
They've always been in esports, even after they dropped the sponsorship for Estro.
That's true.
They had the Pro League rights since, I have to say, 2007-ish.
Yeah. So they've been around for a while.
Now, Boxer's ending up best in the first set. Remember, when we saw the lineup in the last game, Bisu versus Roro,
we were worried. And then
everyone was worried, not just me.
Everybody in the world was actually worried.
Yeah.
LeBron James was worried.
Now, we were talking about WOONGJIN Stars being in first place, right? Well, here's the actual number for you. Out of the all 10 games, if WOONGJIN Stars win 6 out of the next 10 games, then no matter how well KT Roaster or SK Telecom T1 does, they become first place team in Pro League no matter what.
So they only have to win 60% of their games.
Yes.
You know how likely that is for WOONGJIN Stars to do.
Well, you never know what's going to happen because, you know, if you look at some of the previous games, yes, WOONGJIN Stars have been playing well, but they did fall to teams like KT Roaster 2 times in a row and STXO 2-4.
That's true. They've been doing a lot better, those two teams, though, recently. And looking into the game here, we have the double gas from both sides here. Cybernetic scored just about the finish from each player here. Gotta say, I really love the new jerseys for SK Telecom. They look so cool.
Much better than the black ones that we saw in the middle of the season.
I like the black one. I thought they looked good on Parting.
On Parting it was okay, but with all the other SK Telecom T1 players, especially with the blue jersey, it was like, you know, going back to the old blue.
SK Telecom, to me, they've always been more of a red team than blue. And even the orange I was kind of thrown off by when they had for a while.
I mean, yeah, they did start off with the blue color back in the days, but red is what defines SK Telecom T1.
That's true. And we got a sentry out here first from Flying. I've noticed a lot of the WOONGJIN Star players, they like to go for a fast expand, and even if they don't, they do generally get out a pretty fast sentry. We have 2 probes scouting around the map. This is something that we're seeing more often in PvP, especially on maps like this because it's so big and open. There's a lot of opportunities to place a proxy pylon on the map. We have the Twilight Council tech as well from both players following up here.
Seems like Best is going to be a little bit, well, first of all, Flying does put down a proxy pylon on the left-hand side of the base, and I don't see any additional gateways by Flying, which seems like it's going to be most likely going to be a DT follow-up. Best putting down the 2 gateways, right away means that he's going to go for Blink.
So we have the DT opening from Flying, and we have the Blink opening from Best.
So this really depends on Best's ability to read his opponent's build. You know, he saw the probes going around in the map. He didn't exactly get a scouting inside his opponent's main base, but if he has some feeling, then he should put up a robo right away.
Also, the safe thing to do in this situation is to go for the robo. If you try to end the game with the 3 stalkers, then things will not work out well for you. And will we see? Yes, we see a fake chrono. Actually, no, he's actually getting Blink.
He is getting a Blink behind it, but that's a really nice decision because, Best, he saw the timing of the gateways. That was really crucial because...
Look at that, Robo going down instantly.
Robo going down instantly right behind it.
That's actually a really smart decision from Best to do that because that means these DTs, they're not going to do anything at this point. You know, they're going to be annoying, but that's going to be about it.
Yeah, and dumping that minerals into DT, so it's not going to be justified at this moment. Though DT tech is going to finish up, but Best, he already has one force field. The Robo is about 60% done, so he could Chrono Boost out an Observer as soon as the Robo finishes, and he's well defended against the DTs.
Here's the question: is he going to go for an Immortal first? Because he did see the blink, so maybe he's thinking an Immortal time is coming.
Maybe I was thinking more on the fact that Best saw the gateways go up and the timing bot. He actually didn't know.
Oh, force field, force field, force field! No, he doesn't go for the force field. That DT. Best. Reaction time not the greatest. They're losing one sentry. The Nexus going down for flying as well. The Observer being chronoed out here, but we're gonna have a few of these probes get killed off here. I have to say that the reaction from Best there wasn't amazing. Pretty sick Zealot warp and wall there, though. And he's going to be able to go ahead and snipe off that Dark Templar, but does get 6 kills in a sentry, so the investment was certainly worth it.
The investment was worth it, but all he has to do is follow up with the Nexus. You know, this could have been a little more devastating if Best did not go for the Immortals right away. I mean, Robo, excuse me.
So Best should be grabbing his expansion in a second here. He's saving up a lot of resources. He can definitely go ahead and get that as soon as he has the minerals for it. And we have the robotics on the way for flying as well. He's got a nice amount of stalkers here. Both players already have access to that blink technology as well. Another sentry being remade here so he can continue to hallucinate phoenixes throughout the game, and just having that one sentry in your army is pretty good as well.
Yeah, using the Guardian Shield later on in the game, using for the hallucination to scout your opponent's main base, you definitely need a sentry in your main army when it comes to PvP. And, you know, if this was back in Wings of Liberty, some players would try to go for the counterattack at this point with the Nexus being built right away and trying to find the timing before your opponent gets a lot of units out. But you can't do that anymore in Heart of the Swarm because of the Nexus cannon.
Indeed. I also want to point out that there is a hallucinated Phoenix that ran across the map that got sniped by the Stalkers for Best, so he's doing a good job denying his opponent's scouting information, getting an Observer as well, spotting the proxy pylons around the map. He's going to go ahead and bring more Stalkers over there. At the same time, Flying is going to send a squadron of Stalkers of his own over to these Stalkers, going to try to scare them out.
More Stalkers, but Best, he already saw it.
Oh, nice.
One Stalker is going to get sniped.
It's very close, very low on health here. It will escape. Skin of its teeth here. More Zealots now are out, and that's going to force these Stalkers to go away there. Nexus completing for Best here. Both players are still pretty even. Flying has a slight advantage due to that DT earlier on in the game.
Well, the slight advantage is 13 probes.
Yeah, 13 probes is actually a pretty big advantage. Never mind, that's not a slight advantage. I was just
and it also means that if you just win the one huge battle later into the game, 200-200, then you can still win the game. And the homework for Flying is, how do I make sure that I hit it at a perfect timing before my opponent maxes out?
Exactly. That's what he has got to try to do here. We're seeing Immortals continue to get chronoed out here. Robotics Bay now starting. And look at the Stalkers moving forward here. They're going to have to back up, though. Nice control from Flying. He's going to get one Zealot down, another one kind of low on health. This Phoenix is going to scout the Robotics Bay in addition to that. And the Phoenix will scout almost everything. Doesn't see the saturation at that natural, though. But that's not the biggest deal in the world.
Well, he already knows when the Nexus went up. It's much delayed compared to his own Nexus at the natural. He killed 6 probes with a DT, so he has a pretty good idea when the Robo went up, and that's all he needs to know right now.
It looks like both players are actually going to be taking a third pretty soon here. This is a recent development in the PvP metagame where players will get a little bit of a faster third. They stay on that Immortal cycle a little bit longer here. We have a probe stuck between the Twilight Council and the Forge there. That is one lonely probe over there, and it's just taking up that one extra supply. Flying now really falling, or going ahead in the supply here, up to 106 to 80. He should be taking that third base very soon here. Looks like he's going to send out a probe. There goes the third base. Best taking his around the same time as well, maybe a half a second beforehand. And we do have the +1 on the way for the ground forces. And the Stalkers moving forward here. Are they going to be able to snipe that
really
Immortal?
Nice snipe.
Very sick snipe there. We have a forward blink from Best here. And a lot of these Stalkers are getting taken out, but they got the Immortal. And evening things up a little bit by killing that off that Observer, though. But still, the Immortal count is in the advantage of Flying here.
Yeah, Best did a nice job catching up in the probe count, but Flying, because of the better economy, he got the double Robo down much faster than his opponent. So Best is in the situation where he's trying to catch up, and he's doing a solid job, but Flying is going to have a huge timing window where he can crush his opponent's army before Best can max out.
That's true. He certainly has the ability to go for a timing at some point in this game. Already Flying, he's getting charge as well. That +1 attack just about to complete. Both players are working on their thermal lances. The army composition is overall just better for flying right now because he has access to the double robo, like you mentioned, and he also he has more immortals right now. The Stalkers are going to go up here, do a good job at equalizing the probe kill count, and they're going to be able to blink out of there as well in a second. Doesn't even lose a single Stalker, but wait, Stalkers on the low ground are going to eventually kill off those Stalkers with the addition of the Colossi, which can of course move up and down the high ground.
But he did kill up to about 6 probes right there, so it was worth it for trading 4 Stalkers. And at this point in the game, this is when you start throwing away your Stalkers because it's just eating up.
Hold on a second here. I think Flying has decided that after losing those Stalkers, he's far enough ahead in the army supplies, not probe supplies, because Best is ahead in the probe supplies, but in the army supplies to go for an attack. He's at 136 to 119. Best is going to need perfect positioning to deal with this fight here, and he doesn't have those Stalkers that Flying does during this attack here. This is actually going to be very hard to hold. Where's the Mothership Core as well? Nexus Cannon going down. We have one Force Field going down, not doing much. The positioning is pretty solid for both players here. I think Best having a little bit better positioning, but the problem is he doesn't have the army count that Flying does, and 2 Colossus are going down almost instantly at the same time. We have 2 Colossus reinforcements, but the problem is the army supply is just superior for Flying. Now 138 to 97 supply. Things are looking very grim for Best.
Like I said, you could hit a pretty nice timing before both players maxed out, and Flying found the right timing to do so. Now, he's just going to press on for the attack. He killed tons of probes, but that's not even the story right now because Flying, he has a better army composition. He can reinforce right away and win the game.
I just noticed the coach for WOONGJIN Stars, he had the face of a cold-blooded killer.
It's like, yeah, against Best, you should get a win. If not, then there's going to be some problem.
Best is like pleading for his life, and then the WOONGJIN Stars coach tells Flying, kill him.
Yeah, well, Best right now has up to 3 Colossus, but his opponent already has an Immortal, a few Stalkers to support it, and those Colossus are getting taken out one by one.
GG is called by Best. Game 1 going to WOONGJIN Stars, continuing the trend of the WOONGJIN dominance over SK Telecom, but you know what? I think the biggest mistake Best made that game, besides not handling the DT properly, is he threw away those Stalkers to trade with some probes, and he was already far behind in supply. I think that losing those Stalkers may have been the tipping point that made Flying decide to attack his opponent.
Well, also do remember, Flying was getting a constant hallucinated Phoenix into the main base, so he knew the situation of Best's army. So he saw the 2 Colossus with no Stalkers and not that many Immortals. Flying's like, well, I could drag it out to the 200-200 fight, but I could win the game right now.
And that's exactly what he did. So WOONGJIN Stars currently up 1-0 over SK Telecom. We're going to have to find out the next player that they want to send out against Flying, but I have a feeling it's going to be a Protoss player.
Well, the map is going to be Narrow Station, a pretty good map for Protoss, but also playable for Terran, especially with the latest patch on the map.
Yeah, I actually have to feel that Terran is starting to do not bad on that map.
You might even see Fantasy come out on this map.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of Fantasy recently, but we haven't seen a lot of anyone but Protoss recently from SK Telecom because they have so many damn Protoss players that are good.
Well, I expect anyone but Zerg on this map, who is SK Telecom T1, going to send out on Narrow Station.
All right, let's see. We should be going to the bench momentarily here, and at the end of the bench, we have Best, but he was defeated. Parting next to him, and it's going to be Parting. So Parting getting sent out in the second set here. He hasn't been doing amazing in Pro League recently, so this will be a good chance for him to kind of turn things around. Flying, although a formidable opponent, somebody Parting is perfectly capable of taking out. All right, guys, we're going to go into a quick commercial break. When we get back, it's going to be the second set between SK Telecom and WOONGJIN Stars. Parting versus Flying.